Now we're going to look at the graphs of sine and cosine. So the two graphs that you see here are the basic graphs of sine and cosine. So no transformations, nothing like that. Sine and cosine have an amplitude of 1 meaning the graph's never going to get higher than 1 and it's never going to get lower than -1. Sine and cosine also have a period of 2 pi, meaning that after 2 pi the graph repeats itself. So this is in both directions, so it would be like this, and same for cosine, it would be like that. So you'll notice that the sine and cosine graphs look very similar. In fact, the cosine graph is the same as the sine graph, just shifted to the left pi over 2 units. Okay, so just like other functions, sine and cosine graphs can be transformed, and this is kind of the template for those transformations. So they can change the amplitude, so the number that's in front of the sine or cosine function, the coefficient, the absolute value of that will be our new amplitude. If a is negative, the graph is flipped. The period, we're going to take 2 pi over b. The vertical shift is c, and the horizontal shift, or sometimes it's called a phase shift, is d. So looking at number 1, this is our transformed function. My amplitude is 2. It is not flipped because this is a positive 2. It's not a negative 2. If it were negative, it would be flipped. The period, I want to take 2 pi and divide it by 1 because there's technically a 1 here. There's no number really being multiplied by the x and the plus pi over 4. So really just 2 pi over 1 or 2 pi. The vertical shift, we have a -2 here, so that is down 2. And the horizontal shift, we have a plus pi over 4 here, so that would be to the left pi over 4. And they want us to graph this from 0 to 2 pi. So if I'm going to go to my calculator, and I want to make sure that I'm in radian mode. So make sure you're in radian mode. Then we're going to type in the trig function into y1, so -2 plus 2 sine of x plus pi divided by 4. The pi key is the second and then the caret key, so a lot of different food items here. Under window, you want your x min to be 0. You want your, let me write this down, x min 0. X max, you want it to be 2 pi. So if you type in 2 pi, it will actually convert it for you to the decimal, so 6.28. And then the scale, that should be okay. The y min, I'm going to make that -5. The y max, I'm going to make that 5. So that's just really my window that I'm going to view this on. And if you press graph, this is what our graph will look like. Again, it's different from the basic graph of sine. It's been transformed like we've indicated here. When you're graphing it, it doesn't need to be exactly precise as long as it's the general idea about what the shape is that you see on the calculator. But we're really comparing here what it looks like how many periods are there, is it shifted up or down, really in comparison to what the basic graph looks like. So that'll just be our answer.